there is a church that commemorates here the miracle of the 5 loaves and 2 fish. Okay?
Tabgha5Loaves&2Fish Tabgha5Loaves&2Fish.
Okay, we will read the verses now, again related to the church here. This church was built in the Byzantine time and changed, destroyed, and rebuilt again many times. Not many, but few times. Today, as you can see, it's a modern building, but they tried to build it in the same shape as it used to be in the past. Okay, it's a typical, if I can call it, typical Byzantine complex.
This scripture is taken from Mark chapter 6, verse 32. So they went away by themselves in a boat to a solitary place. But many who saw them leaving recognized them and ran on foot from all the towns and got there ahead of them. When Jesus landed and saw a large crowd, he had compassion on them because they were like sheep without a shepherd. He began teaching them many things. By this time it was late in the day, so his disciples came to him. This is a remote place, they said. It is very late. Send the people away so they can go to the surrounding countryside and villages and buy themselves something to eat. But he answered, you give them something to eat. They said to him, that will take 8 months of a man's wages. Are we to go and spend that much on bread and give it to them? How many loaves do you have? He asked. Go and see. When they found, they said, 5 and 2 fish. Then Jesus directed them to have all the people sit down in groups on the green grass. So they sat down in groups of hundreds and fifties, taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, and looking up to heaven, he gave thanks and broke the loaves. Then he gave them to his disciples to set before the people. He also divided the 2 fish among them all. They all ate and were satisfied. And the disciples picked up 12 basketfuls of broken pieces of bread and fish. The number of men who had eaten was 5,000.
Okay, so these are the verses related to the church. Okay, as I told you, we can't really tell if this is the place that it happened. In the old days, some people actually saw it as a place that was more to the east. Some others believe that it was higher, maybe towards Mount Arbel, which is an isolated place, because it said that they were in a place like where they can be lonely by themselves, Jesus with the disciples. So it doesn't necessarily fit to that specific location here. Okay, we can go inside. You can just look at the church. You can see the altar. This mosaic of 2 fish, and actually you will notice there is only 4 loaves in the basket instead of how many? 5. Why is that? Because there is only 4 in only 5 years? Yeah, actually that's what they believe, that the fifth one is Jesus, okay? The real love on the altar, so they put here like the 4 in the basket. And he says, I'm the true bread, right? It's very important.
take pictures and you go back to the rock. This is a typical building complex. You see two lines. You remember even when you went to this olive factory and he told you that he built his factory like a synagogue. The synagogues in the Jewish synagogues were built like Byzantine churches. Okay, in the Byzantine period, they would have these two lines of columns, the entrance there, really kind of similar structure. I would say more than that. In the Jewish synagogues during the Roman time and then later on in the Byzantine, they really got influenced by even pagan things, like when you have the how you call it, all these 12 horoscopes. Yeah, you can find in the horoscope. I mean the different symbols in the Jewish synagogues.